doesn't work for you to shoulders back, breasts out, headlights going, head up, and try to look as bitchy as possible. And stride.
Designed to traumatize Prince Harry with that journey through Paris, emulating that of his mother.
That is what the kids call a sweaty tryhard. It's obvious. I can see you're trying. I feel uncomfortable. I have kind of secondhand embarrassment for you. If you can't pull it off naturally, please don't try. Please just walk out like a normal person would walk. Otherwise, everything about you, as per usual with this gal, is alienating.
So here's the situation. Meghan Markle just got completely blocked, not just unfollowed or quietly ignored, but fully pushed out of the fashion world. Balenciaga, yes, that Balenciaga has basically shut her out, slammed the door, and thrown the key straight into the sand with no intention of getting it back.
So, Angela, do you buy into the idea that she's doing this now and that the reason that she's bowed out from the spotlight over the past few months is that because, as ever, has been a bit of a disaster, even she acknowledges that, so she knew she had to come back.
Now, before anyone says that sounds dramatic, let me explain what went down. Imagine this: Paris Fashion Week, flashing lights, cameras snapping, the biggest names in fashion all around. Then Meghan walks in wearing an outfit that didn't just look inspired by Balenciaga's newest collection, it was practically identical. Same cut, same vibe, same confidence, but here's the catch: it wasn't Balenciaga's.
Yes, one person said she looked as if she was wearing toilet paper. So I think that they were not very impressed by it.
And that's exactly where the problem starts. In the world of high fashion, imitation isn't seen as flattery, it's considered a full-blown declaration of war. Especially when you're talking about a house like Balenciaga, a brand built on shock value, rarity, and fierce originality. They don't just create clothes, they craft entire stories. So when Meghan stepped in and copied that story without approval, she shattered one of fashion's unspoken rules.
Who wore it better? And one thing that I noticed is that whatever Meghan was wearing, it was her moment to shine.
The fashion world takes this kind of thing very seriously. That single move triggered a domino effect that no PR team on earth could possibly contain. Insiders in the Paris fashion scene started whispering fast, not just about the outfit, but about something deeper, growing discomfort with Meghan herself. They say she's unpredictable, desperate to fit into an elite world she once turned her back on. And worse, they claim she's not just drawing inspiration from designers, she's flat out replicating their creations. You see, the luxury fashion elite isn't just about glamorous clothes or secret fittings, it's more like a guarded vault of creativity and power.
And what was happening here? Why is she so shiny? It's like she got a bottle of Soul Glow.
Celebrities don't just slip into designer outfits, they get access to unreleased pieces, secret sketches, and private mood boards that require total trust. And once that trust gets broken, it's over. That's exactly where Meghan finds herself now. Quietly but powerfully, her name is disappearing from exclusive guest lists, calls are going unanswered, and even former stylists are stepping away. What started as whispers is now turning into something official, an unspoken rule across the fashion scene. Do not invite her. To them, Meghan isn't a muse anymore, she's a potential liability. One stylist even admitted she wanted exclusivity before she'd earned it. Ouch! That's basically fashion code for saying she wants all the perks without actually playing by the rules. And in this world, the game is everything.
What's quite interesting, I think, when you look at all of this, that she is definitely suffering at the moment from a career slump until...
But let's be honest, this didn't come out of thin air. Meghan's fashion reputation has always been a little shaky. Every time she tries to pull off a big fashion moment, it somehow slips through her fingers. It either looks forced or ends up sparking fresh drama. And this Balenciaga mess didn't just stir the pot, it knocked the whole thing over. Insiders even claim she's been trying to rebuild bridges through secret channels, using third-party stylists and friendly PR contacts to get back in.
is this going to turn it around? That is the question, because Samara Gill said she is in one of the worst professional places ever.
But the moment Balenciaga realized how closely Meghan's outfit copied their designs, every quiet connection she had suddenly vanished. Those secret doors slammed shut, and what followed was the ultimate punishment, the unspoken blacklist. Yes, fashion absolutely has one. No, it's not written down anywhere, but when you're on it, you feel it. Invitations vanish, stylists disappear, and the glam squads that once called you first suddenly go silent. You drop from the front row to complete invisibility almost overnight. That's exactly where Meghan's path is leading. The wildest part? This wasn't even a red carpet disaster. It was supposed to be a simple, stylish moment. But instead, it exposed just how fragile her place in the fashion world truly is.
But we need to talk about this whole Balenciaga pushing, and she, with this, let's say...
One copied look, one viral side by side. That's all it took for Balenciaga to say, "You're done." And here's the harsh truth. This isn't just about one label. When a powerhouse like Balenciaga makes a move like that, the others take notice. Dior, Givenchy, Louis Vuitton, they're all watching who gets quietly pushed aside. Because luxury fashion isn't just about selling clothes, it's about selling power and control. And trust me, they never hand that kind of influence to someone they can't predict. Meghan's goal was simple. She wanted to make her grand return to the high fashion world.
Meghan peaked in late March, early April, and it's the most downhill ever since. She produced too much bad content, bad products, and bad podcasts, and people are just sick of her.
Instead, Meghan walked straight into a trap, one she unknowingly built herself. And the fallout? It's far from over. The fashion world doesn't send polite warnings or written notices. It communicates through silence and whispers. And right now, every signal aimed at Meghan Markle is flashing bright red. PR teams are quietly stepping back. Stylists who once called her a dream client are suddenly booked. Even photographers have started catching on. She's not being captured the same way anymore. Literally, she's gone from the center of every shot to being cropped right out. What's driving this silent exile goes beyond one copied outfit. It's about trust, reputation, and the message she sent without even realizing it. It's the suspicion that's poisoning everything. The fashion world runs on trust and mutual protection. Designers open their studios believing that whatever happens inside stays inside. But with Meghan, whispers say she's breaking that sacred boundary. People claim her team has been reverse engineering designs in secret, taking inspiration from private showings, hiring local creators to mimic the looks, and then showing them off publicly without giving credit. Even if none of it's ever proven, that kind of rumor is enough to shut every door in her face. Because in luxury fashion, it's not only about reputation, it's about guarding creativity and protecting intellectual property with fierce loyalty. And when someone threatens that unspoken code, even by association, the doors don't just close, they slam shut. Insiders say the final breaking point was the way Meghan wore that imitation outfit with total confidence, as if she absolutely belonged there. It was like she assumed Balenciaga would see it as a compliment, but they didn't. To them, it screamed pure entitlement. A Paris-based creative director reportedly said she behaves like access is a right, not a privilege, and that cut deep because in fashion, access means everything. It's the currency of power, and you don't get it until you've earned it. Then the whispers started turning into questions. Was this all part of a bigger plan? Is Meghan treating fashion not as an art form, but as a shortcut to build her own empire? That's the question spreading fast. Whispers claim she's been quietly planning a personal fashion label, using the knowledge and style she's gathered from behind those luxury doors. If that's true, then her sudden obsession with high fashion wasn't about admiration, it was research in disguise. That theory has been bouncing between Milan, New York, and Paris, completely shifting how insiders see her. Now, the fashion world isn't just disappointed, they feel manipulated. One editor summed it up perfectly, saying it revealed more than anyone expected. She's not building a bond with fashion, She's taking from it piece by piece. That's why this whole mess isn't being quietly forgotten. Designers are pulling away, brands are yanking invitations, and stylists who once praised her are suddenly silent. And then there's the Balenciaga factor, a brand still crawling out from its own PR chaos. The last thing they need right now is another scandal attached to their name, especially one hinting at design theft. For them, protecting their image comes before everything, and Meghan's situation has become a reminder of just how fragile that balance really is. Balenciaga has been working overtime to rebuild its power and reclaim its edge. So when Meghan's outfit went viral for looking almost identical to theirs, it didn't just annoy them, it threatened them. But what really made it worse? Her attitude. She didn't just wear the look, she owned it, posing with full confidence while photos spread of her laughing and smiling during a runway mishap where a model tripped. That single moment, caught on camera, painted her as someone completely unaware of how sacred fashion etiquette really is. It felt like watching someone crash an elegant dinner party, then casually insult the host without even realizing it. From that moment, the whispers turned into a full-blown strategy. Stylists began quietly refusing her team's calls, and brands started marking her name in red on their pre-show access lists. Even some PR firms added new clauses to their contracts, specifically banning the sharing of unreleased designs with non-collaborative talent, a polite industry code for keep Meghan out. And this goes far beyond just event invites. It's a silent reshaping of her entire fashion reputation, where every move she makes is suddenly under a microscope. This is about the long game, and in luxury fashion, no one forgets. Once you're labeled a liability, that mark doesn't fade. Other celebrities start keeping their distance, not necessarily because they believe the whispers, but because they don't want the risk of standing too close. That kind of fallout spreads like wildfire. Meghan's greatest weapon, her image, is now turning against her. Fashion survives on mystery, fantasy, and exclusivity, but Meghan has become the opposite of that. She's too loud, too visible, too predictable. Every step she takes is examined, every outfit picked apart, and every motive questioned until there's nothing left to mystify anyone. In a world that worships subtlety and treats secrecy like gold, that kind of noise can destroy a career. Meghan isn't just missing from the guest list anymore, she's become the reason organizers double-check everyone on it. Behind the velvet walls of fashion's most exclusive circles, the damage is already done. Meghan Markle crossed a line that no one talks about, but everyone knows exists, and it's not one you recover from easily. Balenciaga's silent rejection wasn't just a personal hit, it marked a very public shift in tone, a signal that the industry had officially turned the page on her. The brand never released a statement, they didn't have to. In fashion, silence cuts deeper than any public announcement. Meghan's name just started disappearing from seating charts, fitting schedules, and pre-show coordination emails, as if she turned into a ghost in a world that once celebrated her shine. Meanwhile, her team scrambled to spin the story with phrases like forward-thinking, independent, and inspired by the future. But instead of saving her image, it only made the divide louder. Insiders weren't convinced for a second. They saw the rebranding attempt as proof that something behind the scenes had gone terribly wrong. People stopped asking what Meghan was wearing and started asking why. Was it a tribute? A calculated move? Or was she trying to provoke the fashion world, daring luxury houses to react so she could reinvent herself as an anti-establishment fashion icon? If that was the plan, it blew up spectacularly. Major names like Dior and Givenchy began tightening access, quietly removing her from guest considerations and refusing to comment on any possible collaborations. The message couldn't have been clearer. No one wanted to risk being the next brand caught in an originality scandal. The air around her name had changed, and in fashion, that's the first sign of exile. A Milan-based designer summed it up perfectly. It's not that she wore the wrong dress, it's that she wore the right one without permission. That single line spread through the industry like wildfire. Even Meghan's longtime allies in fashion media began stepping back. The same voices that once praised her style evolution now choose their words with caution, avoiding labels like trendsetter or icon. Because in this world, Trust is the invisible thread that keeps everything stitched together. And when that thread breaks, the illusion unravels instantly. What's unfolding now goes deeper than fabric or fashion. It's about reputation, power, and the cost of breaking unspoken rules. Meghan's rise once symbolized disruption, the woman who challenged tradition and redefined the spotlight. But in the fashion world, breaking the rules doesn't mean ignoring them. It means knowing them so well that even your rebellion feels like respect. That's where she misstepped. She tried to project power by mirroring the image of powerful brands, forgetting one crucial truth. In these elite circles, power isn't borrowed, it's granted. You don't earn it by dressing the part. You earn it by earning trust, quietly and consistently, without making a scene. So the question now hangs in the air. Where does that leave her in a world that no longer wants to play along? People are whispering that she might launch her own label. Maybe a sustainable line, maybe something tied to her personal story, but the timing could not be worse. If she moves now, the storyline writes itself. Stole it, launched it, profited. Even if that is unfair, perception becomes reality. They will destroy the brand before it even gets off the ground. The only smart option left is silence. Not the usual polished silence that ends with a podcast drop or stage photos. Real quiet, time away from the spotlight. It's time for a reset, not because she's been canceled, but because she's been muted. And that's a huge difference. Canceled people still make noise. Muted ones simply fade into the background. The truth is, Meghan Markle had every ingredient to dominate the fashion world. The face, the presence, the story, the legacy. But fashion doesn't bow to legacy. It worships aura. And right now, her aura feels fractured, disconnected, and worst of all, manufactured. She wanted to be the next royal turnstile icon, but instead, she's become a whispered warning, the cautionary tale passed around in design studios and backstage prep rooms. The muse that never truly existed. In a world where your image opens doors long before you speak, Meghan's style started shouting too soon, too loud, and without consent. And now, the industry is answering back in the only language it knows: cold, deliberate, suffocating silence.